Chapter 9, Practice in Daily Life. Chapter 9, Practice in Daily Life. Life itself is Dharma. The Buddha Dharma is the fruit that has 10,000 flavors, the flower with 10,000 fragrances. It can be said that practitioners are the farmers who raise these fruits and the gardeners who tend these flowers. Practicing the Buddha Dharma is the most rewarding and most beneficial kind of farming. Furthermore, you don't need to disregard the other things in your daily life in order to do this. You can do the farming of the Buddha Dharma while working at your regular job because your livelihood provides the experiences that will help you deepen your practice of the Buddha Dharma. The Buddha Dharma is the law of reality and the law of daily life. If you can truly bring your thoughts and actions into accord with what the Buddha taught, then you will awaken to the profound truth with which you can solve any problems, not only those of individuals, but also the problems of societies and nations. Neither religion nor spiritual awakening exists apart from your daily life. The Buddha Dharma encompasses all of the things you do in your life, walking, speaking, and moving. Thus, the truth taught by every Buddha exists not only in the Dharma hall, but also in your bedroom, kitchen, and workplace. The lives of lay people and teachers are not different in terms of practice. You must practice the Buddha Dharma while adapting to your own situation. Do not think about trying to jump out of it or about throwing something away. Instead, just keep going forward diligently in the midst of your own life and circumstances, with your mind leading your body and your body leading your mind. Handling difficulties and suffering. Even if somebody is causing you great hardship, never see that person as being separate from yourself. Don't distinguish between me and others. Don't be blinded by beautiful appearances, and don't be awed by great things. Because you exist, they also exist. Because you exist, all kinds of difficulties are able to arise. Because all things in the universe are working as one, as Hanmaum, all other people are also fundamentally yourself. Never be shaken. No matter whether you meet Buddha or the king of demons or a Dharma-protecting spirit, everything is merely another shape of yourself. When you face hardships, don't become depressed, asking yourself, why do such difficulties happen to me? When these things happen, you should think, now I have an opportunity to grow up. Your future depends upon which way you choose. You have been given the authority to decide your future. Bad circumstances are, in fact, an opportunity to learn. When you understand that those things are Juangong teaching you, you cannot help but be thankful for even those circumstances. In fact, when difficulties come, you can make more progress in your practice. Thus, your practice deepens and you gain wisdom and strength. Quietly embrace your difficulties does not mean to just endure them. It means knowing that the difficulties you face are inherently empty, and furthermore, that those difficulties can guide and train you. This is the attitude of practitioners who quietly embrace all things. Dreaming is being awake, and being awake is a dream. Do not look upon dreams and your waking hours as separate. If you think that dreams and your waking hours are different, you cannot know the deeper place. When you are aware that you're dreaming, you're not bothered by the things that happen in the dream. Likewise, those people who understand that defilements are also nothing other than a kind of dream are never deceived by those things. Even in a dream, don't see things as separate from yourself, and don't allow yourself to get caught up in the things that happen. People try to escape from suffering, but they do not try to understand the true causes of suffering. Thus, although they can get away from one instance of suffering, they cannot avoid having to face more suffering in the future. The thought of I is like a factory that continuously produces suffering and joy. You are the one who has made these things, so you are the only one who can solve them. In order to do this, don't think of these things as fate or karma. Just entrust all suffering and everything that confronts you to your true self, and keep watching and letting go. If you look at who you are now and what kind of person you are, it's possible to see how you lived in the past. If you look at what you are doing now, you can see what your life will be like in the future. When the winds and rains come, all of the dust and pollution is deemed away. Although it may not seem like it at the time, later you will realize that the suffering you are experiencing is actually Buddhas and Bodhisattvas who have come to purify you and help you grow. When something goes wrong with your body, it's often necessary to go to a drugstore or a doctor, but you need to first remember your fundamental mind. It connects everything and is where everything starts, so entrust that condition to it. And while you're being treated, keep entrusting that situation to your foundation. Further, if you remember that the doctor and you are connected as one through your foundation, and entrust this thought to your foundation, then the treatment tends to be much more successful. As with most problems, there is a portion that others can help you with, but only you can take care of the most fundamental parts. You do this by entrusting everything, even disease and pain, to your foundation. This is because everything, including disease, arises from your foundation. So that is where the solutions also need to start from. Disorders with the body often happen when the lives that make up our bodies don't view things from the perspective of the whole body. They don't know what's best for the whole and instead just fight among each other, seeking advantage and domination. Thus, one way of curing disease is to teach all of those lives that fundamentally they are living and working together as one life. What happens to one affects the whole. Entrust to our foundation the thought that we are all sharing the same life, the same mind, the same body, working together as one, and freely give and receive whatever is needed. Then through our foundation, that thought is instantly communicated to all the lives in our body. When the lives within our body can coexist harmoniously, when they know that other lives are also their life, then a multitude of problems with our bodies will improve or even disappear. It's often possible to live a normal life, even though something like cancer doesn't disappear, because those cells are now living harmoniously with the rest of the lives that make up the body. Other people's Buddha nature and your Buddha nature are the same. All people and lives are connected as one through this foundation. So when we entrust to our foundation a thought or intention for someone, that energy is communicated. Even if someone doesn't know anything about spiritual practice, nonetheless, that energy is still communicated and felt at a very deep level. As with nearly all problems, there is still a portion that people must solve themselves. However, imagine the case where someone has to do a job in a cold and dark setting. Now imagine someone doing the same job in a warm and bright atmosphere with healthy food and warm clothes. Which case is likely to turn out better? Which is likely to go smoother? This is why and how we can help others through our fundamental mind, money, and prosperity. Spiritual practice is wisely taking care of the things that confront you in your daily life, including even issues of money and property. So no matter whether you have a little money or a lot, understand that you only manage it, you don't own it. In fact, that money has no owner. It is not your money. It is not others' money. It is something that is endlessly circulating. It comes and it goes. So continuously let go of your attachments to it. When someone earns money, they often think that they alone earned that money. But without others' help, it wouldn't have been possible to earn even a single penny. In one sense, it's easy to see that money is earned with the help of employees, customers, employers, and so forth. However, beyond even this, from the perspective of the foundation, all beings work together to earn that money. So that money can't be said to belong to you alone. Profit and loss are like the front and back sides of a coin. They always work as a pair, never alone. You have to know this. When you have a profit, don't get caught up in that. And when you have a loss, don't become despondent about it. Although many people cry and laugh because of profits and losses, if you can stay focused on your fundamental mind, you'll feel more at ease and be less likely to lose your way when wonderful or terrible things happen in your life. With all things, know your own means and live within them. Do not cling to things. Instead, live harmoniously, knowing that there is nothing that is not you. The path of becoming a Buddha lies in the midst of taking care of your family and looking after the people in your life. Take the things that confront you right now and melt them down. If you talk and worry about things that are far away, while ignoring the tasks that are right in front of you, this can be called the mind of greed. If you cannot overcome the problems that face you in your daily life and home, then you are not at the stage where you can talk about the Buddha Dharma. You must throw away everything without throwing away anything. This means that you throw away attachments, but you do not throw away the people and situations that confront you in your life. Taking care of the things that arise in your life is the action of a bodhisattva. Do not cling to your children, and trust your children to the energy of the foundation and live together harmoniously. When you live like this, without a doubt, your children will eventually become Buddhas and bodhisattvas. If your spouse or children do bad things, never react to them with your mouth, body, or material things. Just entrust everything to the fundamental mind and observe. Just keep letting go of everything to your foundation. Then you can communicate with each other. If you dial a telephone on your side, the phone will ring on the other side. When you do this, your sincerity can be transmitted. This is truly loving them and is the expression of the Buddha Dharma. Before blaming your parents or children, your wife or husband, you need to know that all beings gather together according to their similar karma. You should also know that blaming others is one of the most spiritually harmful things you can do. Not only does your state of mind and spiritual practice affect your child, but pregnancy is also a very powerful time to help your child's spiritual growth. Imagine a warm classroom filled with light, or always being surrounded by mature, wise friends. Think about the kind of influence this would have on your life and the choices you'd make. Like this, when you rely upon your foundation and entrust it with what confronts you, your child also experiences the energy and light of your foundation. Your unborn child is changing and growing so much that a small change or influence at this stage can have a great influence throughout the rest of his or her life. Furthermore, the thoughts the mother entrusts to her foundation have a much stronger influence than they normally would for someone else because, for those months, the mother and her unborn child are literally sharing the same physical body. We tend to like people who treat us well and dislike those who treat us badly. This even happens between married couples and between parents and children. We're happy when others say nice things to us, but when they sincerely point out our faults, we often feel hurt or resentful. When we're happy with something or someone, we tend to like that thing or person even more. But when we don't like what they're saying, we may suddenly become angry. All of these behaviors harm us, so let go of them all to Zhuanggang and always face things with a smile and kind words. If you can do this, true self, your inherent Buddha, silently helps all minds become harmonious. True love. If a child falls into deep water, the parents just jump in and try to save him or her. They do it without any concern for whether they themselves die or not. They do it unconditionally. This love that instantly jumps into the water is the unconditional love of a parent, and is also the unconditional love a Buddha has for all beings. The Buddha's love and compassion and parents' love and compassion for their children are both the same fundamental love. They all say, "I will save you, even if it takes everything I have." The true love of parents never expects to be paid back. This is compassion. Even though others may seem better than you, don't look down upon yourself. Even though you may seem better than others, don't become full of yourself. Always try to be compassionate and broad-minded. Love each other, share each other's burdens, and share what you have with others. This kind of love is more than enough to take care of everything in the world. Throw away stubbornness and arrogance. Let go of greed and desire, dissolve attachments and clinging, and free yourself from jealousy and envy. With a compassionate smile, entrust all of these harmful states of mind to your foundation and let them melt down and become one. This is the love and action of a bodhisattva. Anything else is not truly love or compassion. It is greed, attachment, and delusion, happiness and harmony. Joy and suffering arise at the point where you begin to discriminate between good and bad, between what you like and what you don't like. However, true happiness is more than the good feeling you get when things go your way. True happiness arises from letting go of your discriminations. It arises from the middle way, which transcends all dualities. Happiness is something you make. Don't expect that someone else can give it to you. If you keep clinging to the idea that someone else is going to make you happy, every kind of suffering will follow. People want their own life to go well, their family to be happy, and their nation to prosper. However, families quarrel, wars occur, and nations collapse. These kinds of things happen because people tend to act and think from a limited, incomplete perspective. If you can see all aspects of the things that confront you and can interact and function together as one with them, then all of those situations will be resolved harmoniously. Even though you have to share a single piece of bread for a meal, it can be a happy time if you are all harmonious. Even though you have a sumptuous feast, if everyone is speaking harshly to each other, the meal won't be a pleasant experience. Where is hell? Who makes it? Even if you are very rich and donate a lot of money and food to worthy causes, if your mind is narrow and full of greed, you won't be able to enjoy even the present moment, much less the good results of those donations. Mind is the source of everything. So saving yourself or not saving yourself depends upon how you use your mind. Whether you will be a poor person who is rich or a rich person who is poor, all depends upon yourself. The Buddha's Pure Land does not exist in some faraway realm. If you cultivate your mind, this world itself will naturally become the Pure Land. Chapter 10. Religion and Daily Life. For a blind person, a cane is necessary, and for a person with an injured leg, a crutch is necessary. Like this, for a practitioner, a teacher is necessary. But good teachers can be hard to find. Be careful. Don't abandon your own upright center and chase after others. If you follow a blind person, you'll fall into a ditch. Once you have opened your eyes for yourself, once you have awakened to your true self, then you will be able to go forward taking that as your teacher. However, until then, it's valuable to follow a good teacher. Taking refuge in the Sangha does not mean blindly following synonyms. What you should believe in is your own Buddha nature, Jui-ngang. Taking refuge in the Sangha means that when you think that the actions, words, and thoughts of a teacher all agree with each other and don't go against your own conscience and good judgment, then you follow and accept that sunim as a teacher. In the process of practicing, you need not only an inner teacher but also an outer teacher who can help you with your experiences. For example, Huike was guided by Bodhidharma and Wonyo had Dayan for a teacher. The resolute and unflinching mountains silently tell us, live like a mountain. The ceaselessly flowing waters whisper, live like water. The flowers that bloom in the midst of any kind of adversity quietly sing, live like a flower. A weed living in harsh soil says, live courageously. There is nothing that is not our teacher. There is no place in the Buddha realm and universe that is not your place. No matter whether you are in the Dharma hall or sitting on the toilet, because you exist at that place, true self exists together with you, and Buddha also exists together with you. Nevertheless, there are many people who ignore Jui-ngang and wander around outside, trying to find a better teacher or a better place for praying. They don't know that within themselves they have their own Dharma hall, which is always filled with light and where Buddha is always present. Bowing. True bowing means keeping yourself humble and respecting Buddhas, bodhisattvas, and sages. But at the same time, know that their mind and your mind are not two, and never lose your determination and resolution. Accordingly, even if you pray for the help of Buddhas and bodhisattvas, you have to make the focus of that prayer within yourself. If your heart is extremely sincere, you may be able to have some experiences and achieve a certain amount of good fortune. But as long as you are searching outside of yourself, your efforts can never result in true virtue and merit, nor will you achieve the great goal. We bow to Buddha because Buddha's mind and our fundamental mind are not two. Also, bowing is surrendering your physical body and your thoughts of I. Therefore, when bowing, you should always try to be quiet, humble, and extremely sincere, and be grateful for everything. Bowing reverently to Buddha and Seon Masters is bowing reverently to your true nature. Offering food to Buddhas and Seon Masters is offering food to Juing Gong. Indeed, the mind of Buddha, the mind of bodhisattvas and Dharma-protecting spirits, the mind of patriarchs and Seon Masters of the past, and the mind of all ancestors and all unenlightened beings are together inside of Juing Gong, working as one. Therefore, bowing reverently and offering food with one mind is the same as bowing reverently and offering food together with all Buddhas and all unenlightened beings. Thus, whether it's making an offering or something else, you must not forget your foundation, Juing Gong. In this modern era, when everybody is so busy trying to earn a living, how can you practice if you have to do 108 bows or 3,000 bows a day? Mind is beyond time and space, does not have form, and is completely free. So one extremely sincere bow, where you are one with your foundation, can exceed bowing 30,000 times. You bow once in front of Buddha, while returning everything to your foundation, your present mind, past mind, and future mind all function together as one mind, so one bow can surpass 10,000 bows. When you bow and put your forehead on the ground in front of Buddha, it means that Buddha's mind and your mind are not two, and that Buddha's body and I, your body, are not two. Thus, your flesh bows to your Juing Gong, your foundation. Everything lives together as one and shares all things as one, so bow to your foundation, which makes this possible. Your foundation encompasses everything and connects it all as one. While transcending space and time, it is the functioning of your foundation that is the source of all laws and truths of the universe. Bow to the self that encompasses everything, not to the individual ego. When you give something or help others, do it from the foundation, not the individual I. While bowing, know that everything is already combined with your foundation. True bowing is not directed outward, instead it goes inward. Thus, if you truly bow to Buddha, you are bowing to Juing Gong, your foundation, keeping the precepts. The 5 precepts traditionally begin with do not, but they can also be read positively. Thus, do not kill becomes love all beings equally and compassionately. Do not steal becomes give alms and create virtue. Do not engage in improper sexuality becomes cultivate a pure and upright body and mind. Do not lie becomes speak only the truth and uphold trust. Do not drink alcohol becomes always maintain bright and upright wisdom. By understanding the precepts in this way, the precepts are not things you uphold by not doing something. Rather, you keep them by putting the Buddha's intention into action. When you rely upon and entrust everything to your inherently pure fundamental mind, all precepts are upheld naturally. If it is dirty, clean it. If it is disorganized, straighten it up. If it is broken, fix it. This is keeping the precepts. Living sincerely and uprightly while taking care of the things in your life is keeping the precepts. If you cultivate mind, you naturally uphold the precepts. People who fight with themselves, thinking I must uphold the precepts, fail in the end to uphold the precepts.